Today, I'm going to show you how to use Google's entire ecosystem for AI to build and automate almost anything in your business. Happy Christmas, people. This is a full 1 hour course. We're going live to test all the new updates Google has recently dropped. We're going to be covering, for example, Google AI Studio, NotebookLM, Google Stitch, Google Flows. We've also got Gemini directly in the chat here with some cool new features. And, all of this you can use for free. All of this works right now. By the end of the stream, you'll know exactly how to use each one. So, whether you want to save like 10 hours a week, get more leads, or just stop feeling behind on AI, this is the video for you, my friends. And if you have questions as we go along, feel free to ask. Let's get straight into it. So you can see we've got Gemini over here. Now, if you're not familiar with Gemini, if you never really used it, then basically you can switch between the tools here. So for example, you got like deep research, you got great videos, great images, canvas, guided learning, deep think, and dynamic view, right? Actually, one thing that most people don't know about is dynamic view. So if we say, okay, plan a trip to Japan, you can create some pretty amazing outputs right there. And what it's instantly going to do is create a mini app. And that just gets you a quick win because now you know how to build your own apps and tools in literally one click. And you know a feature that 99% of people actually don't know about. All right. So you can see how quick and easy this is to use. And now this is beginning to code out a dynamic views tool on Labs. So you can use this tool for basically almost anything you want. If you want to automate, for example, tools, apps, if you have a website to build, etc., you can do it all inside here directly. All right. Now, whilst we're planning this out, I want to show you something else. So over here on the right-hand side, we're going to open up AI Studio. That's available at aistudio.google.com. You can actually get all the video notes for free directly from the AI Success Lab that connects you with 40,000 other AI entrepreneurs inside this community. If you go to the classroom here, we've got a bunch of cool stuff, as you can see. And if you go to December 2025, you can see we've got the full course on Gemini and how to build anything, right? So if you want to get all the video notes, it's right there. Ahadun says, love you, bro. Love you too, mate. Thank you very much, sir, for tuning in today. And we're going to keep going through now. So this is one way to use Gemini. Another way that we can actually use this, and this is probably my favorite way, right, is like, you can go on something like Claude, and Claude will actually give you some cool ideas, or ChatGPT, or whatever AI you use the most, and that will give you some personalized stuff that you can actually build with Gemini, right? So if we're like, okay, how can I, or what's the one thing I can create today with Google Gemini that would help me the most, right? And because it understands you, it understands who you are, understands what you do, it's got a lot of context about what are the biggest problems you need to solve, right? And that could be personal, that could be health related, that could be business related. But the main thing here is that you can use this process to just generate better outputs, right? On the poll, we'll call yes means Gemini and no means ChatGPT. I know what you mean. So you can see here it's given us a bunch of ideas, and it's actually, this is really interesting. So it says, given your primary constraint is brand awareness, the highest leverage thing you could do today with Gemini is create like a hook bank, right? So how would we do this? Well, what we can actually do is we can say, okay, we could say analyze these video intros and titles that perform the best, right? And we could take that, go over to Gemini. I'm actually gonna take that like so. We're gonna switch this to we can do it inside the chat here. Actually, I think that'd be fine. And then what I'm going to do is take my most popular video. So just to recap here, basically it said you need to get more attention. So how do you get more attention? You create a hook bank. What is a hook bank? It's basically looking at like all of the different hooks you've created previously in the past with your content that's most popular. And then you can use a prompt like this, and it's automated the prompt and gives us like a copy and paste swipe that we can then take from YouTube, right? So you can see how you can get personalized recommendations based on what you need to improve, and it's so quick and easy, right? And then what we can do is we can actually take all the latest video titles from my channel like this. We can copy those in. We can go out to Gemini. We can paste these in, right? So I'm going to say video titles below, right? And I don't really need to format that because it's an LLM, so it will figure out, okay, this is the title and this is like not the title, all right? And then hopefully, anyway, so then we're going to plug this in. As you can see, now it's going to generate 50 new hooks based on the existing content. So I'm going to hit enter. Like, so we can switch here. This is something to note as well. It's like you can switch between Gemini 3 Fast, Gemini Thinking, or Pro, right? Now, Thinking takes ages. So it's using something called Google Deep Think, which is super powerful, but also very, very slow. You can use Fast or you can use Pro. Right, I'm just going to go with Fast because it's a lot of data to process, and also I want to live stream with you. But if you want to create like better stuff, you can. All right. So now we're beginning to code this out. Bro, by anti-gravity, can we create app or SaaS after creating if there any error or bug? How can we fix it without knowing code? So, if you have like bugs in any tool that you create, you just want to screenshot the bug that you find, plug it into anti-gravity or any other tool, and just say fix this, right? That's usually how you fix it. And then you go back and forth and wrestle with it a little bit until it finally figures it out. That's the way that I would recommend it. So you can see here it's analyzed the psychological patterns, right? And how to create some awesome ones. And then it's given us a bunch of new ideas that we could actually use for our potential content, right? So for example, here, we've got a bunch of ideas for YouTube titles that we could create. I should test some of these. I should split test some of them, right? But you can see how easy that is. And now we've got a hook bank and we're ready to go, right? I'm actually going to bookmark that. It's super useful. And you can see how easy this is, right? To build stuff out like this. This is probably the highest impact, the most impactful thing I could do today. And I just automated it in 5 minutes while talking to you, right? That's how easy it is. Now, if you go back to Gemini here, we've already, for example, created the trip itinerary tool in one prompt by saying plan a trip to Japan. That was pretty cool, right? And you see here, we can just click through it. Pretty amazing. You can see that we can click through, and it's kind of like an interactive app that we just built in one click, but it's personalized to us, right? Pretty nice. And then you can switch between destinations, the calculator, the practical tips, etc. Pretty amazing. Love it. So now what do we do? So now what we're going to do is we will go back over here. Let's say I need to redesign my whole website. Maybe that's something that we need to focus on, right? So I'm going to go over to juliangolder.com. I'm going to take the HTML from this page, right? Then I'm going to go over to, and I don't know if this is going to fully handle the context, but we'll try. We'll give it a whirl. If it doesn't, if it's too big, then we can do it another way. And then we can switch over to Canvas here, and we can say, okay, redesign my website to make it more beautiful and interesting, right? Now, again, if that's too much context, no problem at all. Is this on YouTube? Yes, it is on YouTube. If you want to watch it on YouTube, just go to my channel here. And then if you go up to the top, you go to live, you'll see me live streaming, as you can see. So yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. So let's have a look now. We've got Gemini redesigning the whole website, as you can see. And literally, you can redesign a whole website in like one click, right? Now, it might not be amazing, but you can always go back and forth if you need to change things. So that's how quick and easy this is to do as well, right? And now it's created a more beautiful version of my website. As an example of this, let's share this out, right? So we'll copy this. We'll create the shareable link. You can share this with your team or whoever you want to share it with and just, boast, create a nice new website. Here it is, right? And you can see here, for example, this is a new website we created. Now, like I was saying before, if you want to fix bugs, for example, Arden, you were saying you were struggling to fix some bugs inside your content, right? You just screenshot that, go over to Gemini and just say fix this, right? That's basically how you do it. And then you can see here, we've got all the content from the page. Pretty simple and easy. And that looks a lot better than my existing website, I'll tell you that, right? So if we have a look at my existing website, this is the one, right? And it's kind of old now, to be honest with you. Like, it's due a bit of a revamp, right? Whereas, for example, if we go back to Gemini now, we can see the page. And look how much nicer that looks. Look how much more modern that works, right? And also you can see here, it's taken the existing testimonials from our page, but it's just rewritten the content. So it's like Voices of Victory. Page 1 rankings out a myth. They're a result of the Goldie agency system. And we've basically redesigned our website in one click. Pretty nice, right? So just to recap, what have we done so far? Well, we actually created a full app in one click using Plan a Trip to Japan, right? We redesigned the whole website by just copying and pasting the content inside there. Pretty amazing, right? We also took the one thing that would have the most impact on our business. So we're not getting shiny object syndrome, we're not getting confused and all that, right? We're just taking one thing and going, okay, I need to focus on that. That's the one thing that I need to do this week. I'm not going to get distracted. And we've taken that from here, plugged it into Gemini, and then we created the hook generator, right? And so it's pretty amazing what you can do here. Let's pull this up. Yeah, here's the hooks, right? Now, if you just want to steal this stuff from me, do you know what I want to do for you, right? I'm going to go into the AI Success Lab, which is completely free for you. You can connect with like 40,000 different AI entrepreneurs. So it's pretty amazing inside there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the resources from today, as you can see. And then if you want to, for example, take a look at what I've done, how I've done it, etc., you can do all of that inside here. All right, so let's just grab this one. We'll share this conversation. And number one, this is cool to check out. But number two, it gives you inspiration. You can see how I've done this stuff, right? So we're going to copy that and we'll go over here, right? Then we will copy this conversation for the website design. And we'll go over here, right? What else we got? We got the AI hooks. I'm going to copy that. All right, so everything that I'm creating today, I've shared with you. You can get access to the free resources. And as we continue to build today, we've got a lot more to go, a lot more to show you. This is going to be awesome for you. All right. And so let's keep going through now. And we've built an app, we built a website, we built the marketing copy for our YouTube campaigns. What we're going to do next, right? So what we can actually do here as well is we can switch over to Canvas, right? And then we can create like mini apps that are customized with tools that have AI built into them. Okay, so let me show you an example of that. So if we go inside Claude and we're like, okay, what's one simple mini app I can build today that would help me massively, right? And again, the reason that I use like Claude or ChatGPT or these other tools to come up with it is because they're trained on a lot more personal data from me, right? I've used them a lot more than Gemini. And that's simply because like Claude is really good for writing, which is a lot of what I do all day, right? And so if you take the personal recommendations from these other tools and then plug them into Gemini, that's the best way to get outputs, right? That's the best way to get results here. So you can see here, for example, it's like, okay, an AI stack recommender quiz, right? So we're going to take that and now we're going to say, okay, give me a prompt to build this. All right. And so we get the idea and then we get the prompt. And the prompt will just be like something copy and paste. We can just plug straight into this bad boy. Here we go. All right. So now we've got that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Canvas inside Gemini, copy and paste that prompt. You can tweak it before you publish, but I just want to make it really easy. And I want to show you how easy it is so you can get some quick wins. And then you can go off and start building this. All right. Now, let's talk about like the old way and the new way. All right. So waiting for that to load. Well, I want to talk you through like, okay, what's the old way and the new way, right? The old way was like, you would use 10 different AI tools that don't talk to each other, right? And that would be like the old way of doing things. Now what you can do is you can use Google's connected ecosystem where everything works together, right? Because you've got video, you've got images, you've got links to Google Drive, you can link to Gmail and everything else inside Gemini as well. The old way was paying for expensive AI subscriptions every month. The new way is like you can use free Google tools that do 80% of what paid tools do, right? So even, for example, if you run out of credits on Gemini, no problem, mate. What you can do is just go over to AI Studio. AI Studio is free to use as well, right? And that way you just get the most of everything. And if you have any questions or you want to see me build something whilst you're live, and I've got a few people watching today, then just feel free to ask. Like I'm happy to help. So whatever you want me to do, just let me know. All right. So we're beginning to build this out now, as you can see. And so if we go to Gemini, we've got this tool that will build out the quiz. It's like, what's your perfect AI stack? Has a series of questions, and I'll tell you exactly which AI tools you should be using in your business. We're going to start discovery, and then we can switch between these tools, right? And so, for example, I'm going to say, right, okay, I'm in ecom, admin, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to click through these randomly, and then they have to enter their email address, the assets and stack. It's in the analyze the business, and now it's given us a bunch of recommendations for tools that we can use, right? And so we've created this quiz that works really well, and it can generate leads for us, and then it actually sends traffic to the AI bot for boarding as well, right? Obviously, you would make sure it has the right URL to use, but basically, you can funnel traffic with a quiz to the pages that you need to funnel traffic to, right? Really simple and easy. Did you do a video on Conductor? That's only for CLI, yeah. Yeah, you can use a. If you check out my channel, I've got a video on Conductor, so you can get access to that if you want to as well. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to the notes from today. The old way as well was like spending hours learning each new tool that comes out. Whereas with Gemini, like you can master 2 to 3 core tools really deeply and ignore the rest. The old way was like hiring developers to build apps and automations. You don't need to do that anymore, right? You just describe what you want in plain English, AI builds it. The old way was like manually creating presentations, research, and content. The new way is you upload your sources to something like NotebookLM and it can create everything. We'll come on to NotebookLM in a minute. And then the old way was like answering leads manually or missing opportunities. The new way is like you can have voice agents, chatbots to qualify leads 24/7, right? So I'll come on to chatbots and how to build those out in a minute. But what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to check out NotebookLM. Now, NotebookLM is powered by Google Gemini. All right. So if you want to test this out, you just go to notebooklm.google and then you're going to go inside here, try notebook, etc. And from here, you can start building out. Right. So, for example, what we can do is we can load up a new notebook. And I know someone was asking about it a minute ago, so we'll test this out. We're going to go over to my YouTube channel. I'm going to find the video on Gemini Conduct. Yeah, we'll copy that. And then we're going to go back to Notebook here, plug in the source, paste that URL in, insert that. And now what you can see here is that it's going to use that as a custom source inside our content, right? Which is great. Now we have a custom AI automation that understands exactly what we want because it's got the context of what we want, right? So if you use just like ChatGPT or something like that, it doesn't have any context of what you want, right? It doesn't understand what you're talking about, or it's not going to be super relevant to the topic. Whereas, for example, if you want to learn about Gemini Conductor and you train it on information about Gemini Conductor, then you're going to get much more relevant, better outputs. Right? So on the right-hand side here as well, what you can see is you can actually automate audio views, video views, mind maps, reports, flashcards, quizzes, infographics, slide decks, data tables. Right? Pretty insane. If you have a look at this data table, you can see here, for example, it's created this table. It's like, here's the command or feature of this tool, so Gemini Conductor, and then here's the description, primary function, generated file types, key benefits, etc. Right? How easy was that to do? It's just like a couple of clicks. Now, if you want to see some examples of this in real time, here's an example, right? So you can see here we've plugged in our sales training SOP, right? Now, this is very powerful because now I can train my team automatically and I don't need to answer their questions, right? This is basically a chatbot that answers their questions whenever they have them. So instead of them going onto Discord and asking me a question, they can go into this chatbot and ask that question, which means that I don't need to be online. I don't need to dedicate my time and resources to training, right? It saves a lot of time. So, for example, here we can say, okay, what are uh, how should I handle the objection of I've already an SEO agency, right? And basically, it's going to scan the resources and come up with some ideas to fix that, right? So, for example, if I have a sales team member who's on a sales call, a client comes to him and they're like, "How should I handle?" They're like, "I've already got an SEO agency. I don't need an SEO agency," right? And then they can actually um, use this chatbot to get ideas on how to handle it, right? So, for example, it's like most general agencies have had a lead build because it's hard work, right? This is where we win. Here's the exact playbook to handle the agency objection. So you can do the extension frame, you can do the specialist pivot, you could do the reality check, right? You could do the white label, right? So, for example, it's like, the reality check, right? If their agency is so good, why are they talking to you? You find the gap. Ask them, "How has that been working for you?" Pull up Ahrefs, check their domain rate, check the backlink, et cetera, right? And just that shows you exactly how to train your team to handle stuff, right? Now, if we go on the right-hand side, we've got a bunch of cool stuff, like, for example, we've got a video here, and this video was fully automated with NotebookLM. Actually has a narrator over the top, but you can see how easy it is to automate videos with NotebookLM, right? It's basically like a powerful media center that you can use it's powered by Gemini to generate these outputs. We've got another one here, so we've got an audio overview, we've got an infographic, as you can see, so this infographic fully automated with Nano Banana in Gemini, which is a bit of a game changer. And then if we keep scrolling down here, we have, for example, the presentation as well. Right, so this is the presentation that was fully automated with NotebookLM. Right. So what's pretty amazing about Google and Gemini is like the whole ecosystem. So, for example, what we automated today? Well, we've automated an app, a tool, a website, slideshow presentations, videos. We've talked about, for example, how to train your team and automate that, how to create custom chatbots that are custom trained on your data and your information. You've learned how to create infographics, slide decks, flashcards, quizzes, and this is all in the space of like what 20 minutes so far. So the potential and power of this stuff is just unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, if you go back to Gemini as well, you can also automate videos inside there, right? You can use Veo 3 for this. So if we go inside here, we're going to click on Tools, Create Videos, and you can use this to generate videos, right? So for example, I thought cat, skateboarding, right? You can generate the video. The only problem is that this is going to be like 8 seconds long. Whereas, for example, if you go inside NotebookLM and you automate video inside there, that video is going to be much longer, right? So if we actually go into this video right here, you can see that this is now 7 minutes 21 seconds. Right? It's a lot longer, and you get a lot more out of it. So you can squeeze more out of NotebookLM in terms of like content length and nothing else. Right? Now, as we're going through this, let's just recap on what we're doing and what we've learned so far. All right, so we talked about the old way and the new way. Some people as well will say like, "I'm not technical enough to use this stuff," but, most people think like you need coding skills to use AI tools. That's the old story, but here's the truth. Every tool I'm showing you today, you just write in what you want. There's no technical skills required. You describe what you want, the AI builds it. If you're using something like Google Anti-Gravity, you just tell it, "Build me a website that shows my services," and it writes all the code. For example, Stitch, which we'll come on to in a minute as well. You can say, "Design, a mobile app for booking appointments," and create the interface and UI, like, really quickly. So the real problem isn't not technical, the real problem is that you've been using tools that were designed for developers, whereas these new tools from Google are designed for regular people who just want results, right? So if you've never used Stitch before as well, this is pretty powerful. This is a tool that you can actually use for designing, right? And it's powered by Gemini 3 Pro. Okay, so you can switch between the APIs here. Now, Fast, Google Gemini Fast, this is like the fastest version of Gemini's latest models. It's really powerful. It's actually pretty good for UI as well. And the other cool thing about this is you get quicker outputs. 2.5, I wouldn't worry about. I would use that, it's the old model. Thinking with Pro, okay, that's better. And then redesign is quite interesting as well because you can actually redesign existing apps or sites with Nano Banana Pro. You just attach a screenshot, right? So Stitch is a free tool, and you can use it to redesign stuff, right? So if we, for example, wanted to redesign this page, like so, just take a little screenshot. As you can see, go back to Stitch now, upload that screenshot, and then inside here, we can say, okay, redesign this, right? And you can give it direction, design this to be more modern, interesting, etc. Right? Like so. And you see all the stuff that I've created on the left-hand side here as well. But yeah, this is beginning to build out an awesome design. Now, if we duplicate this tab, we go back to Stitch here. So whilst this is redesigning, let me show you some other examples of what you can build. We're gonna go to all projects here, and you can see, for example, this is a mobile and a desktop version of the page we recreated, right? And what we actually did was say, design a more beautiful website for this that looks more interesting and modern, and we just attached the screenshot, right? And then it created from this to this, right? And this looks a lot nicer, a lot more interesting. You can also generate like variations, regenerate, get the coded version, get a predictive heat map, which is pretty cool. If we click on regenerate here, we can add that to the chat, right? As you can see. So if we click on regenerate, that'll actually generate more variations on the left-hand side. And then we can also annotate it, right? So for example, here, if you click on, well, we'll have to wait for that to load because it's regenerated now. But you can actually annotate this and get straight into it as well. So that's pretty cool too. So Stitch, it doesn't create the website itself, but you can export that to something called AI Studio, which we'll come on to in a minute. You can see we've got the option to export right there. Now we have the new version of the website. So this is the old version, this is the new version, right? Which one looks better? Obviously this one, right? It's a lot more modern, looks more interesting, is it created a much nicer version. Also, it's focused on mobile first, right? Now, if you go over here as well, we can annotate this and we can say, okay, let's take that and we can draw, right? And then if you actually apply that based on those drawings, you can actually edit the image and the UI itself, right? Which is pretty cool. So it's beginning to like adjust the spacing and everything else. And from one single website screenshot, we can now create a full-blown website that's actually going to look a lot nicer, right? So even redesign the thumbnail, which is cool. I like that. It looks better than my thumbnail, right? Look at that and that. Which one looks better? This one for sure. And then we've got a new option over here, right? So it's beginning to code out a new option. Now, if you have an example like this and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with it. Like I've got the UI from Google, that's great. It's using Nana Banana, it's created a beautiful UI, whatever, right? Well, how do you export that? What you can actually do here is you can actually send this over to Jules, or you can send this over. Google Jules is like a coding agent, kind of like ChatGPT Codex. Honestly, if you're not like super deep into coding, you don't need to use it. You can actually code that to clipboard. You can take a zip file if you want to download it and upload it to Netlify, for example. But here's probably the most powerful option, which is that you can actually export this to AI Studio, and then you can build out not just the front end, but the back end, right? So if we say, okay, make this real, what it's going to do is take the existing designs from Stitch for free and build them inside AI Studio, right? Using that screenshot that we've taken. So if we click on build now, you can see how easy and powerful this is, right? And so the whole ecosystem of Gemini is pretty insane because you've got Stitch, you've got AI Studio, you've got Gemini directly, you got anti-gravity, which we haven't even talked about yet, and you have NotebookLM as well. Now, if we go back to NotebookLM over here, you've got this notebook, right? And you've got several notebooks. So you've got like the notebook for your sales training, or a notebook for AI SEO strategies, or whatever it is, right? So you're creating all these different notebooks. Now, how can you get them to talk to each other? Well, you can't get them to communicate with each other inside NotebookLM directly, right? So, for example, if you're inside NotebookLM, like you're not going to be able to get the sales S&P training to communicate with the AI SEO strategy section, right? But what you can do is you can go over to Gemini here, and we've got the video of the cat here, by the way. Let's open this. We've got to watch a cat skateboarding for 2 minutes. Pretty cool, right? Super easy to use. And it's only going to be like 8 seconds long, but the quality and everything is really nice, very cinematic. So anyway, if you go to the chat here, what we're going to do is we are going to go to add, right? So you click on the plus sign here, and then you can actually get your multiple notebooks to communicate with each other and leverage all of them, right? So if we take our 3 notebooks here, we can actually get them to talk to each other. And then what we can do is we can go over to Canvas and we can say, okay, build a relevant tool for these notebooks, right? Build a relevant, I don't know, app, mini app for these notebooks. And you could build a website, you could build a notebook, you could build a mini app, you could build whatever you want using these directly, right? By the way, if you have any questions, if I miss anything out, if I'm not filling in the gaps, etc., feel free to ask as we go along. But this is how you can use these tools to generate almost anything that you want. To build anything that you want. I mean, websites, apps, videos, images. The you know, we haven't even come on to how you can use the images inside this as well, right? But you can see here, for example, we've got the mini app built from the notebook. And it's actually got a checklist that we can actually use for the discovery section, and then the objection section too, right? They can tick off the packages, the conductor, etc. Right? So it's pretty amazing. Now, inside Gemini as well, what we can also do is we can create images or we can create tools, etc. And this is powered by Nano Banana. So if we click on, for example, create images over here, this is going to leverage images via Nano Banana to generate or edit existing images. Now we can just go inside here and create a basic image. We're creating a lot of cat pictures today, and we'll go with create a cat snowboarding, right? But what we can actually do, and I'll do this in a separate tab whilst we're waiting, is we can start a new chat here. We can create another image, and then inside this, we can upload a file, right? So if I wanted to upload, say, a thumbnail, right, which I've done right here, and I'm going to change this to insane, right? So let's say I wanted to just edit a word inside the thumbnail itself. Well, I can change this bit here to that word, right? And it'll be super simple and easy to do. So if you need to create like multiple variations of a Facebook ads creative, maybe you need to create a variation of a thumbnail, maybe you just want to mess around with this stuff and create multiple versions. Well, look how easy that is, right? It's taking exactly the same image, but it's edited out the content right there. This is by far and away the best image generator on the internet that I've ever seen, right? And I've spent thousands of hours testing AI, but this is by far the best. You can also, for example, say, okay, invert the colors. And what that helps you do is just create like a variation of the same thumbnail, the same image that you can test again. So if you like want to test multiple versions of an image, maybe you need to create a lot of content or a lot of volume, etc., then you can easily do it just by inverting the colors, right? And so like if you have a winner, but you don't want to mess around, you can create one like that. That's actually turned me into like I look like a Smurf inside that image, so I wouldn't go with that. But you know how you can do it, right? You know how easy it is to edit these images and that sort of thing. So if you go back to here, you've got the image generated by Gemini as well. It's pretty simple and easy. Right? And we've also got the new content from Stitch over here. We're going to close this. This is available at stitch.withgoogle.com. And then if we go back to AI Studio now, what we actually did was we recreated that landing page that Stitch designed. Right? And so you can take images and turn them into real coded projects without actually coding using this method. So for example, here we've got the new design. We went over to AI Studio, we exported it, and boom, shakalaka. There we go, right? We've got the full page here. So that's pretty amazing. Now, if we go, this is a whole different rabbit hole, but if we go over to AI Studio now, as you can see, we've got Google AI Studio here. Now, you can actually use the playground and you can play around with the API and kind of use this as a chatbot. You can also generate images. You can use Pro Preview inside here. You can use Flash Preview, and you can switch between the APIs on the top, right? So, for example, Pro Preview, Nano Banana, Flash Preview, right? This is the image generator. This is their best model for thinking. We've got, for example, Flash, which is a great model for just getting faster outputs. It's still creating relevant outputs that are actually good, right? And then you've got Image Gem, which is like that old Well, I've not used that recently. I don't think that's the best one. I think Nana Banana is best for generating images, as you can see. And you can also switch between different options, right? So, for example, even over here, we've actually got Gemini Flash Live. You got image. You got VO2, which is their API for generating videos, and then we've also got the audio over here as well. Right? So we can switch between audio, video, live, images, Gemini, featured, etc. Right? So that's kind of like the main chat here. Now, if you actually want to build something, which is usually what I use it for, then you can build all sorts of crazy apps. So let me show you some examples. So if we go to AI Studio here, these are a bunch of apps that I've built, and literally they were so easy to build. And I'll show you a bunch of them, show you how they work, show you what it can do, etc. But it's pretty amazing. And basically, any app that you want to build, I would recommend trying to go with AI Studio. Now, Action Priority says, can you help me in creating an AI chatbot for my website using Google AI Studio and ChatGPT? Sure. All right, let's try and build this. All right. So I've actually got an example one over here. Right, I'm going to show you. This is a chatbot that I built previously, and if you let me know what chatbot you want to build, Action Priority, then we can build that for you live today, just to help you out. But if we have a look at this particular example, so this is AI Studio Logo Concept AI, right? It said, "Hello, I'm your logo AI assistant. Let's create something iconic. What's your business name?" So I'm just going to type this in, right? And you can see here, this is a chatbot that's actually listening to me, looking at my answers, and we built it just using this prompt, right? This is the prompt. So we said, you are a logo concept generator. Your job is to help users create professional logo concepts using AI image generation tools. The workflow, here we go. Here's how it works. Vary each prompt by doing this, and then refinement, right? So basically, it's a custom chatbot that generates custom logos based on the details that you plug into the chat. And then once you've generated the chat, it'll actually generate the logo for you. I'll show you how that works in a second. All right. Great name. What does your business actually do? We'll put SEO, right? Okay. Can you give me 3 words to describe the brand personality? We'll say, we'll just put, I don't know, some random values like hardworking, results focused, and leverage, right? Okay. Do you have any preferred colors? I'm going to say my brand colors are, and then we'll put brand colors in a second ago. There we go. All right. Almost there. Are there any specific symbols or imagery related to your brand? I'm going to put SEO related imagery. Okay. And now it's generating the brand brief and concepts. So what that's doing is basically generate some ideas for the logo that we can then use to automate the logo later, right? And so we've got this chatbot over here. As you can see, it's generate the design strategy and prompts using the chatbot on the left-hand side. So we've got chatbot, prompts for generating the logos, and then what we can actually do is we can click generate concepts to see 3 unique AI generated logo concepts based on our business profile. And again, how did I build this? Literally just this one simple prompt up here. It just one shot at it, right? It created that prompt and that tool in like a couple of clicks using this process. So we're going to click on generate now. And that will start creating magic, as you can see. And now we've got 3 different logos that we can actually start using for our business, right? So for example, like this one, pretty nice. And it's used our brand colors. It's created the logos really quickly. It used the concepts that were generated from the chat on the left-hand side. And there you go, my friends. That's how easy it is to use this stuff, right? Now, what happens if you actually wanted to, for example, like host this onto your website? Well, you can share the app like this, or what you can actually do is you can go into the chat here and say, okay, how to embed this to my website. All right. So if you want to actually use this inside your website as a custom chatbot and you want to use a tool, you could host this as like an actual website itself, so like a mini website. But you can see here it actually gives you instructions on the iframe method. right? So if we deploy this, then we can paste the code, right? So let me show you an example how this works. And I'm going to log into my website and show you how to do this. In fact, I'm tempted, maybe I can just do it on live stream, live weave. All right, so we're going to deploy and publish the app, as you can see. Then we're going to copy the AI Studio link here. We'll go back to the chat and put my deployed tool is app, and then we'll plug in the link to the AI Studio link, as you can see. Okay, and now it said copy and paste this into your website's builder. Gonna plug that in. See if we can get this working. Never actually tested this before, but I think that's how you do it. So we've got the URL here. I don't know if that's going to work, but we can certainly try. If you get an error, it's okay. Just go back. I'm just going to take the HTML from the page as well. Actually, the HTML is a bit mad. But yeah. We'll see how to get this working. I think it's good as well for you to see like when it doesn't work, just so you can get a feel for like, okay, here's how you fix it, right? Here's how you go off and fix this bad boy. So I don't know if it's going to be able to handle all that context, but you see here it's running and coming up with ideas. The other good thing about Gemini versus other tools is that not only can it generate like image videos, not only does it have all these other different tools that link inside the ecosystem, but also like it got a really long context window. Right, it's actually updated the design based on my website, which is pretty cool as well. So it's rebranded the tool based on the design of my website. But yeah, the cool thing about Gemini is it has a large context window, which means like you can paste a lot of content in there and it shouldn't run out. To put this in perspective, like Claude, for example, has a context window of 200k tokens, whereas, for example, with Gemini, it's got 1 million context window. Scully is here. Good to see you, Scully. Legendary member of the live streams. So we're just coding out this tool and figuring out how to embed it. made me use Netlify to host it and use the Google Studio AI API, but I'm getting a lot of errors. So if you get any errors like I'm doing today, just screenshot them and then paste them into the chat, and from there you can start building this. Also, if you go inside the AI Profit Boardroom community here, you can actually ask questions and then get help, right? So if you're struggling with anything, you can actually get unlimited technical support inside the AI Profit Boardroom post, and like everyone will help you out, right? So for example, like Darren, he mentioned about AI Studio, and then you can see everyone jumped in here. It got like 19 comments. So it's very active and everyone's just there to support and help each other, as you can see. So I'm going to copy this like so. Go back over here. Copy that. Git update. Two Shark says how to connect full stack website with database and login authentication. So for that, you use Superbase, right? Superbase, you can use the MCP server, or you can just link it directly inside AI Studio. And then with Superbase, you can actually build full stack apps and that sort of thing. I also really like Data Button for this because that's how I built, for example, a job board using that. And it was really simple and easy to do. So let's click on the share button. Scully says, I found the best workflow is like you do floating from project to project. Only what you do, knowing you're miles ahead of your competition. Yeah, that's pretty fun as well. Is it normal for ChatGPT to repeat itself, making me do things that I've already done for that specific task? Yes. That's why I don't use ChatGPT anymore. It's like the outputs are really bad. Like I've just wasted so much time with ChatGPT, particularly after the latest updates. Like I don't think it's good at all. I actually done a comparison, but in the past. The only thing that I do like ChatGPT for is, for example, for coding. It's actually really good at coding, but everything else, like it's pretty bad in comparison to Gemini. I mean, for example, if you actually, we can do this as well. Like if we have a look at, for example, Gemini, and we'll compare the outputs versus ChatGPT, right? And let's say, for example, we want to generate an image, right? And we'll say, okay, take this thumbnail, make it Christmas themed, right? So we'll do that inside Gemini, and then we'll do the same thing inside ChatGPT as well. And this is using ChatGPT Image 1.5, which is the new update from ChatGPT. And then we've got Nano Banana inside Google as well. I'm actually interested to see how they perform. So we can add these to split view and just compare them. And you see how much faster Gemini is versus ChatGPT, right? And this is an older update. This is a newer update. But ChatGPT is just way behind when it comes to this stuff. I just saw Scully's comment. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I like to keep things basic. I like to keep things like simple and easy and just minimal. That's something I learned from people like Hormozy or Sam Ovens. I mean, Hormozy, when he was like really successful, was just literally in the basement with a nose strip on, right? Like that's that's what I think works the best sometimes, just being authentic. So if you have a look here, we've got the images, and look at this. This is the wrong dimensions, right? So you see how this is completely wrong in terms of its dimensions and how it's set up. This is a million times better, right? And it was generated faster. Also, if you look at the face itself, see how this is like a little bit messy in terms of like it almost feels cartoonish with the filter on, right? It applied an automatic filter. If we have a look at this image over here on the right hand side, number one, the font is a lot more Christmassy, and number two, the image itself, the face is like way more realistic. It feels a little more real, right? Now we can also do another example here. And so if we run up a new chat, and we'll do this inside Gemini 2, and we can say, let's try this out. So we're going to say, okay, canvas, and we'll do canvas inside ChatGPT as well. All right, we'll compare them side by side. And I'm going to use fast mode inside both of them because I want to get quick answers, right? And we're going to say, okay, build out a beautiful website for Julian Goldie's SEO agency, Goldie Agency. Right, just to compare, like, okay, which one performs the best, which one performs faster, etc. Right. But yeah, you see here. And Scully says the school UI is pretty basic design-wise, but it does the job in spades. Yeah, I would agree. It's like the Apple of communities, honestly. It's so easy to use. I think Kimmy may be onto something. Sure. Like, I mean, the simpler something is, sometimes the better it is, right? All things being equal, the simplest solution wins. So we're going to preview that. So this is the website from ChatGPT, right? And you see how the text doesn't even work. It's quite messy. Now let's have a look at the website from Gemini, right? We're using the fast API for both just to get better, faster results. But look at that. Like it's created content with black text on a black background. Like, how does that make sense? Right? Whereas if we have a look at the outputs from Gemini, you can see over here, like it's beautifully designed, it looks really nice, it's all tailored to me and my business. You can read the content, it's clean, it's modern, it's unique, it mentions me. Like, it's just a million times better. And so I think like the outputs you're going to get from Gemini in general are usually 10 times better versus, like, for example, ChatGPT. And so that's one of the reasons I stopped using ChatGPT, honestly. So yeah, I've shared a bunch of the tools and stuff that I've built today. We've talked about like the old way versus the new way. Some people are going to say I need to learn every new AI tool, and this is a trap, right? So a new tool comes out, you watch like 5 YouTube videos, you sign up, you play with it for a day, then the next week another tool comes out and you start over. That's not learning, that is distraction, my friends. Okay, so here's a simple rule: master 2 to 3 tools deeply, ignore everything else. I call this the triple stack method because you pick your research tool, pick your content tool, pick your automation tool, and just get really good at those 3. So for example, today, we could use Gemini for thinking, NotebookLM for research, and Content AI Studio for voice agents. And everything else is pretty much noise. Now, if you want to build a voice agent inside, for example, AI Studio 2, you can go to Google AI Studio here, and then you can go inside this, and you would just find the voice agent, as you can see. All right. So we've got AI powered chatbot. There we go. Conversational voice apps, right? I love when you compare them like this. Yeah, me too. I think it's a lot of fun. Action priority says, which is the best AI chatbot to use to get instructions so I can finish my AI chatbot for my website? Yeah, I would go with Gemini. Gemini is really good. or you can use Claude as well. But I would just look at Gemini and Claude. And Scully says, I don't know, Altman may have something up his sleeve. Let's see. I feel like ChatGPT is so far behind, it's going to be almost impossible to catch up with Google. They're just too good. So we've got the voice app over here, Gemini Flash Preview. And, if we wanted to build, for example, like a voice agent, I want to say create a voice agent that's a customer service rep for new potential clients, form a SEO agency, Goldie agency, right? And we'll hit build like so. And now we can start building out these voice agents as well. Right, so you can see that's beginning to code out over here. And once that's running, we can test out. You can program it with custom knowledge as well. You can plug in all your, you could upload FAQs and that sort of thing as well directly here. But you can see how that's beginning to code out here, right? And it's full screen. Then we just have to allow our microphone. We're going to start the SEO consultation. It may not work first time around, but let's test it out. So we're going to click on Start SEO Consultation over here. And let's test this out. Hey, can you hear me? Test. Yeah, so you can see it's beginning to test out. Now we just have to unmute this. Are you here? Hey, so I need some help with SEO.
Ah, wonderful. Tell me a bit about your business. What do you do? And what's your website URL?
Yeah, so my
what
website
goals-
URL is juliangoldie.com, and we have a website that sells cat toys.
Ah, juliangoldie.com, specializing in delightful cat toys. That's wonderful. Are you looking for more traffic, better conversions, or greater brand awareness through SEO?
So we'll end the conversation there, but you can see the voice itself has so much personality. It's super friendly. I was going to say it's way more friendly than most customer service reps that you find, and it replies instantly. Plus, it knows how to handle every response perfectly, right? And so you can just embed something like this to your website. You can easily build it out, as you can see. And then what we can also do is just upload custom information about our business over here, right? So let's say, for example, we wanted to upload some information about Goldie Agency, who we are, what we do, etc. Right? Well, we can easily do that using the method that I'm about to show you. So, for example, here we're going to go over to my website, as you can see, and we're going to plug in some information about us, who we are. Right? So we're going to take this information right here. I'm going to plug that in, and then we're going to go over to Google AI Studio. And we're going to say, okay, here's some company information about me so that you can answer questions better. We'll enter like so. Scully says, that's so cool. SEO voice agent app. Thanks, man. Mate, your positivity is awesome, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So, you can see here it's beginning to build this out. And basically we've plugged in information about who we are, what we do, some case studies, some information about us, information about me as a founder of the agency. And you could easily just take all the information from your website, copy it, paste it into AI Studio, and boom, you've got a custom trained voice agent that knows exactly how to answer everything, right? So if we go inside here, we'll say start SEO consultation. Hey, can you help me with SEO?
Welcome to Goldie Agency. I'm Goldie. We've helped brands scale from 0 to 100K plus monthly visitors. How can I help you reach those heights today? Tell me a bit about your business, your URL, and whether you're focused on driving more traffic.
So you can see how easy that is, right? And then you can deploy it. So you can actually deploy that online. All right, so it's deploying that now to Google Cloud, as you can see. So we've got the concierge over here. Right, super simple and easy. And then if we X off there, get the shareable link. Copy that, and then you've got the code over here, right? Now, I think what you could also potentially do is actually recode this in HTML. That might make it easier to deploy as well. So you could either deploy it like you can see here, we've got this deployed like so. Or we could code it into like a simple HTML. So you can use AI Studio to build the AI chatbot, and then use Gemini to give me the instructions. Yeah, exactly. So now we've got the code for that, and then you can also host this on a website as well. But you also got the shareable link, and you got the deployed app as well. So if we go over here with the application, and then you can see like the API requests here as well as like, you know, what was the cost and everything else. Here's the app URL. All right, and so you can actually embed that into your website. And then you've also got this embeddable page as well. And then what you can also do here, let's just click on share here. So now it's deployed. All right, deploy app. So this is the app URL, right? This one right here, right? Now if we go inside here and we say, okay, give me the embeddable code. Here's my app URL. Alright, and basically what we're trying to do here is just get the embeddable code that we can put on a website so that we can embed this. What are you going to call it? Alright, let's have a look at it. Let's come up with some names. We'll use Gemini to come up with some. Actually, do you know what? We'll go over to AI Studio in a sec. And we'll grab that in a second, alright? So we're going to grab the iframe. And then if we go over to, so this is the HTML, right? So we've got the HTML with the SRC, the width, etc., right? That's the iframe code. And then if we click on preview, you can see the app ready to be previewed right here. Right, so we can start the SEO consultation. Hey, you working?
Welcome to Goldie Agency.
Awesome. Can you give me some tips on like how to find SEO keywords?
We help brands scale from 0 to 100K.
All right. Can you just give me some ideas on keywords? Just get straight to it. Don't mess around.
All right, let's get to it. What kind of business are you in? And do you have a URL for me to look at?
Yeah,
Knowing
so
that will help.
juliangoldie.com, and we are an SEO agency.
Got it. So for an SEO agency, we'd want to target keywords around SEO services.
All right. So you can see how you can embed that now. It's really simple and easy. And all you do, right, just to recap on the steps, you build out the app directly inside AI Studio. Then from there, you're going to deploy the app, right? Deploy the app. Now, once you've deployed it, you will get an app URL that looks like this, right? So you don't use the Drive one, you use the app URL, as you can see. Once you've got the app URL, you're going to paste it into the chat down here, and you would say, give me the embeddable HTML code. Here's my app URL. We've got the app URL. And then it will give you the embeddable HTML code, which you can see we plugged into WordPress, right? So this is the embeddable HTML code. The other option that you have is like you can create a floating chat bubble style HTML code, and you just grab this code over here, right? So however you want to do it, however you want to embed it on your website, that's how you can take these apps directly, right? When do you decide to put something on the Google Play Store? I guess when you got something that you think is amazing, and also you just got to test it, right, for bugs and everything else. But yeah, I think it would be quite simple to create new apps for the Play Store and everything else. So we've talked about how easy this is. I've shown you how easy it is, and I've shown you the whole process. Now let's talk about the Goldie AI automation system. All right. So I'm giving you my personal framework for using Google's AI tools together as one system. I call it the GOLDIE framework because that's what it helps you build, a system that works for you, right? So this is basically how it works. The first thing you're going to do is just gather knowledge and research. You can use NotebookLM and Gemini for this. And this is where everything starts, right? So you can gather information before you create anything. You know, NotebookLM lets you upload the sources and everything else. So it could be, for example, uploading information about SEO agencies if you run an SEO agency, or I could upload information about my AI profit boardroom and plug it in, right? Then you're going to organize it. And you use NotebookLM and Gemini for this too, right? So you can organize this into mind maps, flashcards, quizzes, reports, data tables, etc., right? And here's a prompt idea you could use as an example. From there, you're going to learn, right? So this is L. NotebookLM and audio and video overviews will help you do this. So you can turn any research into audio overviews and video overviews, as I've shown you today. And this is huge for entrepreneurs. You can upload a long report, get a 10-minute audio version, and you can listen to that, you know, whilst you're out and about. So for me, for example, I might want like audio overviews of each new AI tool update so members can learn on the go. Like that would be a great value add to the community. And then you've got design, right? Visual and UI. And you can use Stitch and NotebookLM infographics for doing this. Now, most entrepreneurs are great with ideas and terrible with design. And now you don't need to be. So, you know, Stitch lets you describe an app or a web interface that you want to create, and it generates it. And then you can get the HTML and CSS code, the Figma and exported files, and you're good to go, right? You can also use infographics to turn your research into visual content. I is implement, start building and automating, right? So you can use Google Anti-Gravity, you could use Gemini, etc., and you can start coding out those tools like I've shown you today. AI Studio as well is amazing for this. So, you know, whatever you've built and whatever you learned about, you can start building in directly here. And then E is for engage, right? So for example, voice agents, interactive. You can use Google AI Studio for this, like I've shown you today. And this is the one that blows people's minds. But inside AI Studio, you could build a voice agent, like I've shown you already, that answers phone calls, or qualifies leads, or books appointments, or answers FAQs, right? And the crazy part is you just describe what you want, like I've shown you, right? Literally, all I said was create a voice agent that's a customer service rep for new potential clients from SEO agency, Goldie Agency. That was it, right? So very simple. Now, if you want a 30-day action plan, it's inside the AI Success Lab. So it guides you through how to implement this inside 30 days, right? With day-to-day actions and homework for each day. Here's some examples of tools you can get, and this is all inside the AI Success Lab, completely free. Connects you with 40,000 entrepreneurs who are interested in AI. And if you go to the December 2025 section, you can see here we've got all the information from today. So the full program from today is inside there. I've walked you through the Goldie framework, the 30-day action plan, how you can basically build anything you want with AI, plus how to embed it to your website. Clint says, what happens if you use Google's autonomous programming agent to build your backend? So you can, just be careful how you build it and that sort of thing. Test it out properly, and also think about all the elements of building a good app. And then also, even in the backend, like you want to use something like Superbase, right? If you want to code that out. And Action Plan says, can you place this example using step-by-step instructions? This will help me a lot in creating an AI chatbot or even a voice agent. Yeah, sure. Do you know what I'll do? I'm going to share that app with you directly here inside the AI AI Success Lab, right? So you can see it right here. And basically what you do is prompt, test, right? Prompt, build it, test it, deploy it, right? Get embeddable HTML, then post to your site. And using this process, if you just rewind the video today, like you can get access to all the steps that we did and how we did it step by step. But yeah, it was quite a really good example to use there. And then Scully says, I wonder if you could create 2 voice agents in one app and have them talk to each other about a particular subject. Yeah, I think you could. I've seen that on YouTube where people put like 2 AIs next to each other and they talk to each other, and it gets weird. It gets pretty crazy. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all the video notes from today, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab. As I've shown you today, it connects you with 40,000 members. It's completely free. It comes with all my latest trainings, and also you can see in the classroom here, you can get access to the notes from today on how to build and automate anything with Google Gemini and all the different ways you can use it, right? Now, if you want to learn more about this stuff, if you want coaching from me, if you want to connect with me personally, then you could feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have an amazing community of 1,900 serious entrepreneurs with AI who all focused on growing their business, scaling, and automating with AI. So you can post inside the community, get help, you can share your wins, you can share your goals, etc. We actually have a daily accountability group as well, so you can check in and just get help whenever you need it, right? And it basically keeps you focused on getting results with AI, because a lot of people fiddle with it, not a lot of people get results with it, and I'm all about getting results with it, like you can see today. Now, inside the classroom here, you can actually see that we have a 6-week masterclass that takes you from a complete beginner to becoming an expert in AI, right, in just 6 weeks. You also learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You can direct message me personally as well. So, for example, Action Priority, I know you were asking for help with AI Studio, etc. Like, for technical support, you can DM me, or what I'd actually recommend is you post inside the community, because it's really active and everyone's very good at AI inside there, right? So if you need help, if you need technical support, if you just want feedback on a particular tool, you can post it inside the community here and just get help and support whenever you need it, right? We actually have, this is pretty crazy, for the AI Profit Boardroom, we actually have over 107 pages of testimonials, like you can see right here. Elsa said, wow, this community is next level, right? Eric says, programmed a WordPress plugin with Manus, for example. Steven said he had never heard of N8N, and then he came into the course and built his first N8N agent that saved him 10% of his time, right? Andrew, my first win, and he actually automated an AI avatar video. And we've got 107 pages of people getting wins with AI, like you can see right here. And these are AI Profit Boardroom members. So if you want to get that level of performance, join the AI Profit Boardroom. And then inside the classroom here, you get access to all my best SOPs, my playbooks. These are the playbooks I personally use inside my business. So automating emails, Twitter, newsletters, shorts, Instagram, AI avatar videos, screen share videos for AI avatars. And these are video tutorials that break down exactly how to do it, how to automate videos with AI, most powerful blog post automations. I mean, for example, check this out. This is my website traffic. Since we've been using these AI SEO automations, we were getting like 0 clicks a day, as you can see back there. And now we're consistently getting traffic to this website with Google and AI search. And also inside the classroom here as well, you can get 4 weekly coaching calls a week. So you can jump on 4 weekly coaching calls, get help, get support, jump on the live calls, meet the community, and just meet some awesome people and be part of something amazing. So feel free to join. Link in the comments description, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate you, Scully, and appreciate everyone who joined today. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.